Hi, everybody. I'm immigration lawyer John Khosravi. Thank you for joining us in our regular Tuesday, 4 p.m. Pacific time, 7 p.m. Eastern live Q&A, where you take your questions about U.S. immigration law on YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram, and TikTok. Hopefully, Facebook and Twitter will get back to you soon. I'm not sure what's going on with those feeds, but we'll stick with it. So I'm an immigration lawyer. I help primarily married couples and families get U.S. immigration status, either changing in the U.S. or through the embassy. We also help small-time investors in the E2 investor program, people with top abilities or EB1A, extraordinary ability, or national interest waiver, a lot of scientists, top athletes, artists. So we love to do really interesting kind of stuff, help people come to this country and make country better. That's what we focus on at the JQK Immigration Law Firm, and we're about to get started right now. So all the information here is not intended as individual legal guidance. So if you want to talk with myself, you guys schedule a consultation for me to give individual guidance and all that, because it's just more private information I got to know about your background before I can say do this or that. But it's general kind of stuff that helps, and we're going to do our best to do that. I've been doing it for a run since 2020 now. It's 4 or 5 years, 5 years now that we have this regular session. Something used to be on Wednesdays, then on Tuesdays, and at 5, and 2 days forward. It changes a little bit of time. We're here almost I think we've only missed 1 or 2 in the lifetime. On vacation I do it. So we love doing it because your questions are usually really good. Now, when it's not good is questions about timelines. How long does this take? And it gets frustrating because everyone keeps asking, who knows what the timeline is going to be, especially because we have new administration, new president here that's come in, and that's going to be a big change in everything that happens in the immigration system. So whatever I say, our timeline is going to be completely unreliable. Let me see what's going on with my audio. It's not working. It's because my system isn't working on Chrome. That's why. So those listening on YouTube, I'm sorry, using not the microphone audio, which I just put away then. Using the computer audio, which is not as good, which I don't like, but it is what it is because I forgot to use the right browser, Firefox, and we're in the show. It's already too late. So let's have your questions come in. Zubair asks, hello, sir. My I-751 has been pending over 35 months. Please suggestions. That sucks. 2.5 years is pretty bad. U.S. immigration has said that they expect these things to take almost 4 years, so it's not outside processing times for them. If you could file for citizenship, try to look at that. You've been married to a U.S. citizen, for example, and you have a good case for that. You could try contacting USCIS by calling them. They'll probably say nothing. You could try asking your congressperson. They'll try nothing. If you really are frustrated, you can sue them. That's going to cost you some money. But other than that, just wait till you can file for U.S. citizenship. Plus, before doing any kind of maneuver, I'd want to make sure you have a strong case for IR-751 so they don't come back and just deny it based on the facts. So you want to look over that to make sure it's good. But that's something to do, which kind of brings me to my next thing. I wanted to mention a special program we're starting, which is, this is a broad area. A lot of people are coming, watching this, and it's public and stuff. I was thinking about creating a live session that's only for 10 people that you come, and we can have share video, who ask questions, focus on marriage-based immigration, I guess, to narrow it down the topic so it's not all over the place and hear other people. So if you are interested in marriage green card case, and this is not individually guidance too, but it's a more private forum, we could talk, and it's kind of like a seminar. I'll probably be a nominal fee of $25 or something. Go to our website, jqqlaw.com/contact, and let me know, jqqlaw.com/contact. And I'll figure out a landing page where you can sign up and be one of those people, once a week, do that as a separate private seminar and see how that works out. So we can actually slow it down and explain in full context what it is in a private forum. That's not videotaped for the world to see. So if you're interested in that, I'll try to mention it again in this feed a couple more times, see if people want it. If we get 5 people sign up or 10 people through this, we'll do it. But it's jqqlaw.com/contact. Lord says, hello, sir. Is there any way an F2 visa holder can get a work permit? They have permission. If you have a bad situation in your home country, there's an exception for that you can file. But that's really about it for F2s. They don't really want you to work. Does F2 get it? Yeah. So if you have extraordinary circumstances that require that, you could do that. Yeah, it's pretty limited. Awuda says, what are the options when an asylum case has been denied? Well, we don't do asylum law, but essentially it's denied. You go to immigration court if it's not there already, and there's not much you can do. I don't know what to tell you. Unfortunately, it's not good. You got to find other stuff. Let's see. Can F2 visa holder work? It's not possible. I don't get work permits. Oh, yeah. So this website, Ohio State, says not under any circumstances, but there's they opened it up a little bit. If you're, I don't know if it's for F2 or for F1, the primary student, if there are extraordinary circumstances that are problematic as a student visa holder, that they need money. And they also announced there once in a while, I think it was Lebanon. Yeah, they said for Lebanese people, because of what's going back home and finances are strict, their families sending money, they're going to be opening it up so they get easier work permits, that kind of stuff. Moran says, can you apply for a student visa while I-130 is pending? You can apply. It could be approved, but it's up to discretion. Usually they'll deny it, but you can give it a shot if you have the patience for it. Damien says, hello to you too. Mahat says, I came to U.S. on an immigrant visa. I haven't received my green card yet, and I need to go to my former country urgently. What should I do? It's in 5 weeks now. Well, when you get an immigrant visa, that's a green card. Immigrant visa is the embassy stamps your passport. It's not a green card until you enter the U.S. But once you enter the U.S. and you're here, that's stamped by the officer of the airport, the customs officer, will turn the visa stamp into a green card for a period of 1 year from entry. So that's why it's not a big deal, Mahad. Your green card, you have a green card in your passport. That's the immigrant visa, and you can use that for a year to travel until the green card comes in the mail. He asks how much time did it take to be delivered? It's 5 years now. It's very unreliable. Sometimes it's like 1 week or 2 weeks. Did you pay the green card fee? That's one thing. A $235 fee or whatever it is supposed to pay. So you have to pay that. But if you did, sometimes it's 2 weeks to get the green card. Sometimes it's 9 months. Sometimes it gets lost and never comes. You got to apply for a new one. A former I-90, pay money and wait 2 years to get a new one. So it's a mess. But at least if you got to travel, the immigrant visa will take care of you. Lord says, what about forming an LLC? Can an F2 visa holder start a business? No, you can't do work activities in the United States. You could form an LLC for like a holding company or something like that, but you can't work in the U.S. So any kind of work is against the law. Lauren says, I'm applying for my husband's green card. Congrats, Lauren. I think you've been a regular. I've seen your name pop here for months now. So yeah, hopefully it goes through smoothly. Corey Smart says, good afternoon. By the way, people on TikTok, if you want more chance of your questions being answered, please go to YouTube, JQK Law page, and follow us there. Because on TikTok, we have so much repeat questions. I don't get prior to it because it's hard to keep track of what's going on with all the random comments that are coming up there. Both jumping. Tina says, can I apply N400 if misplaced my green card? They've opened it up. If you lost your green card, just you file the lost green card thing, it's fine. Misplaced is lost. So if you lost it. They'll allow you to. They opened it up where you can. I can't. About a year and a half, 2 years ago, they changed the regulations, make it flexible like that. I've had the situation pop up, so I don't remember exact rules. If you go to USCIS.gov and check out, the policy on this, they'll tell you. But I think you can. But again, I don't remember the exact rules because that hasn't popped up for me. This issue. Chris Marr says, good afternoon, Ms. Khosravi. If Trump was to make the parole 212D5 come to an end, would that cancel out the legal entry for people who came to U.S. that way? No, because if you already enter that way. So you can't cancel. You've been paroled in. But the interpretation of what you could do with that parole can be changed based on different cases if they want to fight it. This is highly technical, but the green card adjustment of status section in the statute, the Immigration Nationality Act, Section 245 says that 245A says that admission or parole into the United States is the initial requirement for you to be able to get a green card in the United States. So if you've been paroled in on a D5 proper parole, you're already in. However, what could change is if you have DACA, this is too technical for this show right here, but if you have DACA and you get advanced parole and want to leave and then not have that trigger the 3 or 10-year bar to come back in, that could potentially be changed up because it's a BI decision. But it depends on what kind of case you have. I don't want to go too much into the weeds of highly technical immigration stuff because it's going to just be confusing to go into 245 and DACA, amount of Arabelli. This is too much of a law school conversation. But it depends on your situation to see how it is. If you're already here, you're here. And it really depends on what the base is. But if you're here, it's probably not going to affect you. Mo Sadegan says, hi, my wife is waiting for interview time for I-130 in Ankara. Can she apply for tourist visa, the U.S. or student visa? As I said earlier, she can. She's probably not going to get approved, but give it a shot if you like. Maud says, yeah, I paid it even if I come good. Good, Maud. How can I check whether it's lost still? Call USCIS. Wait 4 weeks. If it's 5 weeks, you should have called USCIS the 4 week mark, frankly. So call USCIS and see what happened, if they sent it a return or what's going on. Paula says, does 245I forgive unauthorized employment? That's exactly what 245I does. Munter says, slam to the big boss. Thanks, brother. I got a couple of questions for you. My immigrant visa interview is in the first week of January. Congratulations, Montreal. For diversity visa, I got a question on police clearance. Okay. For applicants age 16 or above, they want a police clearance from your country of nationality for any 6 months of the time. What does that mean? So when you're going to get a green card through the embassy system, you have to get police certificates. This is to show that your background's good. Anywhere you had criminal history, you have to get those reports. But you also have to get police certificates from any country you've lived in, primarily for more than 1 year. So if you've been anywhere for 1 year living, you got to get a police certificate for that country. Some countries, they don't accept the police certificates. Like from Iran, they don't accept police certificates from them. The U.S. doesn't, so there's no point getting it. But let's say you're born in Saudi Arabia and at 15 you moved to Canada. They may ask for the Saudi police clearance, but probably not. So it's after 16 you're in Canada. You just need one for Canada, and so it's after a year. But if you live in your own home country anytime after the age of 16 for 6 months, then yeah, you have to get it. And then they may ask for more before 16 is potential too. But what we do when we collect all your address history since 16, and then we just see which ones needed. Because when you upload your documents to the National Visa Center, they'll ask for police certificates that they shouldn't ask. So I need to be able to just the lawyer aspect me comes in and push back and say, hey, we don't need this, and argue with them and stuff like that people on their own might not know. But essentially, that's it. It does explain it relatively well, but he said, when that follows up, I only visited Syria when I was a child for a short visit, never 6 months continuously, 1 month per year for the first 12 years. So you never lived there. You never resided in Syria. You were just visiting there. So you don't need one from there. Now, I don't even think they'll accept police certificates from Syria. I have to look up the visa reciprocity chart. So you do what we're talking. Visa reciprocity Syria. But if you didn't reside there, it's not listed as one of your addresses on your form DS-260. It shouldn't even come up. Now, they may on their own ask for it, but it's very unlikely. That doesn't usually happen, especially in Canada. We're getting a lot of questions, so I'll be patient with me as we're going through them. Crystal says, if I'm a U.S. citizen, but I've been residing and working in the country, can I still apply for my husband's green card? Yeah, I just had a consultation with a person, Crystal, today who was living in South America. You can. The only thing is later on in the process, when you deal with the National Visa Center, they're going to question your domicile. And there's ways to fix that up. Eventually come move here and stuff like that. So it's doable. But that's a valid question you have because you have a domicile requirement issue as well as the affiliated support is going to have issue. If you don't have income, you probably need a joint sponsor potentially. So those are two things to think about in that kind of case. Really quick, going back to the question, police certificates from Syria, it says available, unavailable. Okay, so for example, if you need to get a police certificate from Syria because you lived in Syria, the Department of State says it's available for Syrians residing in Syria, but unavailable to citizens living outside the country. So if you're Syrian, but you're not living in Syria, the State Department is saying it's not available, so it's not a requirement. It's not available. We issue personal. So this doesn't clearly say you don't have to get it but at the same time, how are you going to get it if you're not living there and they can't force you to go to essentially a war zone right now? I mean, it's not as bad as 10 years ago, but I would argue that it's not necessary and just not do it in your kind of case if you want to push it, unless it's just easy for you to get, then just get it as backup. All right, we're getting a lot of questions. Then we'll go to Instagram. Crystal, okay, Polly says, would there be additional problems with green cards already in process, new administration? Yeah, they could do whatever they want, unfortunately. Asal says in Farsi, the Abu Dhabi embassy, how long does it take? It takes forever. It's going to take years, Asa, very long. It's not clear. Asa جان چندین سال طول خواهد کشید. ویزای K1 اولا زیاد ویزای مناسبی نیستش. اگه مناسب بود ازدواج بهتره، ولی بحثی داره به موقعیت شخص خودتون. ولی ابوظبی بدتری سفارت خوب نیست برای این کار، ولی هر چی هست سالها 2-3 سال حداقل طول میشه و ایرانی‌ها بهتون زیاد چاپ و بند می‌خورن چون رابطتون آماده باشه برای سختی برای این موضوع. So I sorry for so just saying if you're doing a Iranian case and a fiance visa, first of all, it's going to be not a good idea 9 out of 10 times because it's going to take longer. And Iranians are probably going to be subject to a travel ban under the administration. So if you're engaged, I've had consultations where they broke up after they consulted with me, Iranian, because they're like, it might be 5 years of travel ban, and they're like, oh, we can't do this, so we're just going to break up. I've seen that happen, unfortunately. Okay, Audubon, I applied for asylum, got my documents to work, but still waiting on an interview. I'm married to an American citizen. Can I file for adjustment of status? Audubon, it depends on if you entered the U.S. lawfully, first of all, if you had lawful admission or parole, and that's a big factor. And then kind of have to see if you have other things that are cool and okay. You're welcome, Asaf. So we had to check that out, but the primary thing is that you enter lawfully. Chris Mark says, thank you for the very technical explanation and watching you for months. Thank you, Chris Mark. God bless you. I appreciate you. Angel says, if you're married to a green card holder and file for lawful status, can you fill out a status? Heard so many responses. So once you apply for adjustment of status, a green card application in the United States, you no longer have to maintain your underlying status. Let's say you're a student visa holder, you're on a tourist visa, you get married and you file for adjustment of status. After adjusting status, you don't need to maintain status any longer. It's in the USCIS policy manual, but even lawyers don't know this, unfortunately. But it's better to maintain underlying status because sometimes you might get divorced or something. If relationship falls apart, you want to have that backup, but overall, it's not necessary. Ramesh says, I need information about EB3 unskilled worker. Well, what should I do? Please advise. I've provided for current, my stomach 20 March. I don't know, Ramesh. I'd have to dig in. You have the consultation we could do. There's not much we can do. We got to see what's happening in the visa bulletin. I mean, your name is Ramesh Kumar. You're probably Indian, which means your backlog is going to be horrible. I'm not sure what your priority date is. So I-485 is not current. It's up to the visa bulletin, really. I don't know what to tell you. Lee Santi says, I got DACA when I was 24. I've done 3 APs. I have I-130 through my dad. Do I need I-601A? Yeah, you can't do adjustment status without overstay. So if you marry a U.S. citizen, you're good. But if you want to do an I-130 through your dad as an adult child of a U.S. citizen or green card holder, you won't be able to adjust status because you have bad history. So you have to, the embassy, you go through the embassy, you'll need a waiver. So probably just need to find a U.S. If you find a U.S. citizen to marry, that's a real marriage, then that's the way to go. In the mix says, please assist us with VAWA case waivers. Tried about 80 lawyers, still failed to get the right answers. I'm not a good VAWA person. I never filed a VAWA case myself. Maybe I've never done a VAWA case myself, unfortunately, in the mix. So I'm not a good attorney to guide on that. Madamar, hello to you too. Jenna says, I'm considering applying for law school. What would you advise? Would you give as a freshman or just overall? Is immigration law the best practice? I think immigration law is the best practice. I wouldn't do any other law. If they just stopped immigration, I would just probably go into video marketing or doing like YouTube videos or something like that. I wouldn't do any other area of law. Other ones not appealing to me. What advice is really just as a person, find out who you are, develop yourself, become a better kind of person, have compassion. My advice is not really about, it's pure advice. It's more like, biblical advice about who you are as a person, being compassionate, being slow to anger, be full of love and kindness, be a faithful person, all that kind of, that's the most important thing. So you do that, the rest of it falls into place. Alex says, when should I apply for green card and after granted asylum? Is there an interview for green card based on asylum if there's an issue? Whether to do an interview or not, it's up to discretion of the government. So they may do it, they may not. When should you file for the green card? I'd probably wait 7 or 8 months after, or 6 or 7 months after you got asylum, then apply. Gagan says, hello, sir, I applied I-751, but I got divorced after applying. My wife, same thing I had to do. Gagan, I just did a detailed video about this situation where you have a 2-year green card, you file for extension to get a 10-year green card, but you're getting divorced. Go to our YouTube page, JK Law. It's like one of the most 2 recent long videos I did. Watch that and schedule a private consultation. Chrismar, wow, you're fluent 2 languages. Very impressive. Thank you. God bless you, Chrismar. Munta, that's correct. But they also require police clearance for any country of nationality. It doesn't matter if you stay there for 6 months before I was ridiculous. So the wording, you're very correct, Munta. I had this with your question a lot. So I had this one case where a woman escaped Vietnam with her family when she was pretty much like 2 years old. And I was really debating this, and it was actually the case in Montreal, Canada too. Because they had no connection to Vietnam anymore. So we can't even go there. We don't have the paperwork. We don't want to go there, all this kind of stuff. So going back and forth, what should we do? So we just didn't do it. And we just gave everything after 16, which is Canada, because that's the only place she lived. And they're okay with it. So that's what we did. That's what I'm saying. They may still ask for it. But in that case, the Vietnamese case, and then after that, 2 or 3 other cases which were the same, where they only looked at what's going on after 16 years old. And so it was good. She never went back to Vietnam. That case and the other cases as well that happened. So that's why. So it's bad language, it's inconsistent language online about this issue. But in practice, that's what I saw happen. But we deal with the government every time is different, so it might pop up. Sign out. Good evening, counsel. My green card was extended for 48 months. Can I apply for an N400 naturalization? My green card turns 3 years in February. Yeah, if you're married to a U.S. citizen and you satisfy those requirements, yeah. Well, I've been talking fast and burning through my throat. Angel says, thank you. Half the lawyers we consult with say no, and the others say yes. How confusing. I know, Angel. I forgot what your question was in the first place. Let me see what it was. If you're married to a green card holder, yeah, that's unfortunately the case, Angel. But it's in the USCIS. If you type in USCIS policy manual and then adjustment of status, out of status, there's a part of it that actually says it. So immigration lawyers have groups where we Facebook groups where we guidance, and several times they've had to cite to that place. But I just did a Google search. I should memorize what page it is on. But you don't need to maintain status after filing adjustment, a properly filed adjustment status. Ramesh Kumar from Pakistan. Sorry, Ramesh. I know Pakistan out of me. But if you're Pakistani, it's a better situation if you're born in Pakistan. Again, my apologies, Ramesh. I know that can be a sensitive topic. But yeah, if you're in Pakistan, your priority date, it depends. I don't know which priority it is, but USCIS for Child Status Protection Act purposes, once you file the I-485 based on the date of filing, they'll accept that to lock in your place for Child Status Protection Act for your child. So that's a game changer if you're already here and you can do adjustment of status, but you got to get the visa bulletin moving. Without that, it's not happening, and we got no control of the visa bulletin part, unfortunately. Mohammed said, I've been waiting for my work authorization for 50 days. Yeah, unfortunately, that's it. Paula says, can you get a work permit with the I-130 pending? No, there was no work permit. It's not based on I-130. Sakib says, I'm a Canadian citizen. My wife's an Indian citizen working on H-1B in the U.S. Can I get a work visa? So if so, what process? So an H-4 with a spouse, H-1B spouse, where the H-1B spouse is a green card case pending, could get a work authorization. Standalone H-4s, I don't think they can. I don't deal with H-4s too much, so don't quote me on that, but I don't think they can. However, Trump's one of the number one things he wants to stop is H-4 from getting a work authorization. All right, let's go to all the 150 questions on TikTok. Unfortunately, I missed. Sorry, everybody. I'm telling you, go to YouTube. That's the place to go. And let's just start. Okay, so Arash says, I have an A63 green card. Can I travel my country, Afghanistan? I don't do A56 green cards at visa, so I don't want to comment on that. Can we apply for citizenship without 1099 W2? Yeah, working is not a requirement for citizenship. Ski Mark says, married U.S. citizen, Germany citizen, background born in Syria, enter legally if you want. Can I apply for a green card? Married U.S. citizen, Germany citizen, background born in Syria. Probably. I need some more information, but if someone entered lawfully, they married U.S. citizen. That's a good start. Sakib says, oh, you're welcome. You're welcome, Sakib. Nikusha says, LPR applying for citizenship next year. Any risks? It really depends on your individual circumstances. I do have to mention, like I forgot, I was going to plug it a lot, but I got so many questions. If you want to, I'm going to make a smaller live group that's premium. It's going to have like 10, 15 people in there. And it's going to focus just on marriage green cards. So it's you can hear each other's questions and stuff. And it'll be more open where I'll share the videos and we can talk about it. So that session is going to have like a nominal fee, like $25 or something, and just have like 10, 20 people there. If you're interested in that, I'm going to see if there's a demand for it. Go to jqqlaw.com/contact and just fill out and say, yes, I'm interested in that program. And if I get like, I don't know, a certain amount of people where I know it's worthwhile, I'll make a landing page where you could like book the time and get the link to join the private group. And it's not recorded, so I'll talk more openly about it. And I can just focus on giving long explanations, because here I'm just focused on answering all the questions. And it's hard. A lot of people will comment, say, you talk too fast, I can't understand, but I can slow it down that form. Okay, the second question is, I know a Canadian who married a U.S. citizen, gone through I-1 process in Montreal. The Canadian applicant got hit with DS-5535. Yeah, the DS-5535 is terrible, and it's probably going to have to as well. That's why consular processing for a Syrian is not going to be a really good idea. Not good. She applied for divorce in Canada 2 weeks after Montreal asked her to send the passport out and stamping. Divorce is not final, but the relationship is done. What she can do is send her passport. Well, that goes into a gray area, because the relationship is done, but the divorce is not finalized, so technically she's still married. How are they going to take that? Because what happens is, if she gets a green card later on, if they look into it, particularly as citizenship, they could say, oh, that was invalid. So technically they're not divorced, so it's possible, but at the same time they might come back. So it's a gray area. Munter says, thanks again, John. You're indeed the big boss. I appreciate it. God bless you. Really appreciate you rocking the day of the Q&A. Always a pleasure. My pleasure as well. Bayo says, one quick question for you. Is it possible to change the embassy after getting refused? A refusal means your case is still pending with them. There's no real changing at that point. Depends on, everything's possible, but it really is like a very exception has to be. So is it possible? Yeah, 1 out of 1,000, maybe 1 out of 10,000. If there's a very unique situation, but generally no. Junia says, is USCIS going to take the interview for VAWA? I don't know. Fortune says, does age, as in young couple 23, 24, affect I-130 just with Senate? No. I have a lot of couples at college and that do that. All right, waiting for my I-485 approval. In the meantime, going to law school, international or domestic. Am I international or domestic? That's depending on how they consider that in state schools and how they do funding. It's not an immigration question. Nikusha says, my damn throat's giving out. I'm yelling over here. One thing about having the mic in front of me when it works is that I just talk to the mic, but when I'm talking to the video out there, I yell because I feel like you're really far away and it really spurs the throat up. I got to just calm down a little bit. Okay, so now that PIP is out, will USCIS start moving faster on N61A? Probably not. They'll probably move slower. The Parole in Place for Keeping Families Together Act actually in December was going to speed up the I-618 process, because a lot of the people with I-618s pending were not getting approved because they're backed up, but there was less. So it's probably going to be the opposite. And 618s are taking like 2 to 4 years, maybe 5 years. It's pretty terrible. Which date is on Visa Bulletin for spouse green card? Go check it out on Visa Bulletin. Don't ask me. We'll go to the facts. I don't sit and memorize a Visa Bulletin. What document do we have to protect our children in case of deportation so they can stay with the family? I mean, there's no document. There's just have the status of it. That's it. Why are people out in AP without asking for additional documentation, Islamabad? Um, Administrative processing is a catch-all term. It might mean they want more documents to send them, and it might mean they just got to do their own background checks, and that they'll just wait. It'll take forever. Fortune follows up. What are some typical mistakes that people do? They're doing a straightforward I-130 adjustment of status make, no divorce, legal entry, married before visa expiration. Ramesh says, please guide me about it. Ramesh, schedule private consultations so we get to dig deep into your case because that's more a little bit technical. I need to see birthdays and birth certificates, filing dates, all that kind of stuff. So what kind of I-130 issues? Altaf says, what questions will I ask for EB3 visa? They'll probably go over your history, your background, inadmissibility questions, and personal history to see if the job is qualified, that kind of stuff. For I-130, people make mistakes that are kind of ridiculous all the time. If they do an interview, they don't know enough about each other, some basic stuff. They don't list all their names. There's alternative names that comes fraud situation potentially. They don't list work history stuff properly. It's more not as much for the I-130. It's more for the I-485 adjustment of status or people have admissibility issues of some kind. But when it comes to relationship, they don't have enough documentation. It really comes out to not having enough documents. They're not living together. Their dates don't match up properly in the forms. That comes a problem. Their paperwork is like the evidence of the relationship is really thin, or there's typos or these errors in there that create problems, that kind of stuff. But it's mostly, again, like people who come to me usually have problems with the affidavit of support. That's where their problems are, the I-64, or it's with the adjustment of status, not as much the I-130. Yeah. So the thing is, like, when people do on their own, it's just like they make mistakes that are mind-boggling, the mistakes they make, and then it causes like they mail the thing to the wrong spot. They don't put the right money amount. They put the wrong names. Like they put the foreign person on page one opposite. It's just like the mistakes are so wild. So it's like not even rational, logical stuff. So it's so that's why that like I used to say, okay, do it yourself. It's easy. Then I'm like, you just better hire a lawyer that knows what they're doing because there's mistakes that people make are just unbelievable. Destiny says, hi, Heidi too. Bio says Abu Dhabi doesn't respond to emails at all. That's correct, and they didn't give my fiance a visa because of his resume. I'm just worried they won't respond at all. Yeah, it's no man's there. It's limbo. You have no idea what's going to happen with your case. Unfortunately, that's one of the many nightmares of consular processing, especially if you're Iranian. About golf vlogs, one of the regulars. Hi, it's me, golf again. Good to see you. I passed my citizenship. Congrats. My LCR on my schedule January. Congrats. Just want to thank you. You're a big part of my sales journey. God bless you, golf. Thanks so much. I think you already left a review on our Google My Business page, if I'm already called. But if you could, again, anyone's watching likes this stuff, go to JQK Law and leave a 5-star review on the Google site. Don't have to say anything. But well, congrats, golf. I'm really happy to hear that. Now that you're a citizen, opens it up. You can apply for your parents, siblings, green cards as well. But that's wonderful news. You got done in January too, before a new election, so you're good to go. El Gallo says, I have a pending I-75 on over 2 years. Should I apply for M400? Thank you. If you got a good citizenship case, married to U.S. in the last 3 years, we do that all the time. That's what we recommend. But I got to know your background. Destiny says, my husband has a biometric scale for AOS. Congrats. Hopefully all goes smooth. All right, we're about to end the show right now. Let me just find a couple more questions. For everyone on TikTok, I'm sorry I wasn't able to answer too much. I know a lot of you did transfer over to YouTube, ask questions through there, so you get to it. But TikTok, the feed has just moved so fast, it's kind of hard to check what's going on. Nikusha says LPR applying for citizenship next year, no criminal record, paying my taxes, any risk under Trump. Trump hasn't made any changes, so any risk under Trump is saying like, is there any risk for me to go to work tomorrow? Am I going to get an accident? It's like it's not something I could answer out of it. It's just like, well, drive safely, have a bigger car, so if you do an accident, it hurts the other person. that's as much as I can tell you. I can't tell the future. I don't have a crystal ball, and I don't know anything about you as well to be able to spot stuff. Farhad says, after how long can we file for writ of mandamus on F1 visa? I do not live in the USA. It's not going to work. I haven't found success to be able to get success for F1 visa filings, but you could wait whatever's appropriate for you. I talked with a lawyer that files lawsuits that these regularly. It's better for them to answer. Destiny says, okay, have a good night. Hey, thanks for understanding your situation. Always, God bless you, Destiny. Thanks so much. Okay, I got to get going. I got to get my kid to class right now for judo. So, okay, let's see. El Nikusha, okay. Alzar says, how long for I-730 for my husband? It varies. I-730s could be 3 months, could be 3 years. Okay, sorry, buddy. I got to end the show. I got to say it again so everyone's here. I'm going to be doing a live private chat group so we can just spend longer time, slow it down, answer marriage, green card specific questions. So if you are interested in that, it's probably going to be like $25 charge for that just to weed out people. But go to the website, jqqlaw.com/contact. God bless you as well, Fortune. and just fill that out. Say I'm interested in the private group about marriage green card cases, and then we'll have a half-an-hour session with maybe 10 or 20 people, so it's smaller, and I can share a video. You get like long form talk about stuff and really go into more detail, more technical kind of stuff they can't do here. It won't be recorded. It'll just be a private group. But if you're interested in that, if we get enough people sign up, I'll do it. So just hit me up, jklaw.com/contact, and we'll take it from there. But everyone else, thanks so much for joining us. God bless, be safe, and I'll see you all next week, Tuesday, 4 p.m. Pacific. If you follow us regularly on our subscriptions on these pages, I try to do pop-ups like on Sundays a lot of times or on Fridays, just to answer questions too. So follow us and you'll get more of these. But our regular time is Tuesday, 4 p.m. Pacific time. Until next week, God bless, be safe, and I'll see you all soon. Bye-bye.